Hey everyone, this is Rachel, and today I'm here with a new scrapbooking process video. Thanks so much for joining me here, and I hope you enjoy. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome, and I would love it if you would become a subscriber. You can also click on the notification bell so you always know when I have a new video up. Alright folks, let's get going! Hey everyone, I am here with another scrapbooking page. This time around I am using Heidi Swapp Storyline Chapters. I know she's released several versions of these. This was the one from fall 2019. I've got two photos on scrapbooking of my nephew's first day of college. So I'm going to go ahead, get you guys put on fast forward before I do. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. And I do have detail shots of my layout at the end of the video. I hope all of you are doing well, and let's get going. All right, I'm gonna pull the embellishments and the thickers to the side and get started. Now this is a new line for me. I just got it, oh sugar, probably in, where are we? We're just at the end of May right now. You guys are going to see this video at the beginning of June, but I got this probably at the beginning of April, part of my quarantine shopping spree I went on. So I'm looking for some neutral patterns. You know, my nephew's a dude. This is kind of a girly line, but I wanted to see if I could pull some neutral patterns from it. I'm looking to cut out one of those little squares. It's the one that says live this moment. I think that's what it says, something like that, or this moment. So I'm trying to trim it out without having to cut everything apart. Once I start cutting everything apart, I'm more likely to lose pieces. So what I do is I use my guillotine trimmer and I trim it almost to where it ends. And I trim the edges, just that little last 1/4 inch with my scissors. I do not trust myself to trim all of it with scissors because I am a very bad scissor cutter person. Just one of those things. So unfortunately I can't do that on screen because I have to, if I'm going to use a scissor, I do have to do it close to my body. So I've got that all set. And I consider using the other side of that cut apart sheet, the kind of the linen-y green stripes, as a vertical piece behind my two photos. I decide instead to use this gray piece of paper that has the layered triangles. And originally I thought I was going to do a full 12 by 12 vertical, but when I looked at it, I just didn't like it. I also did not like the way the end of that piece tore, so it worked out well for me just to trim that section off. Go ahead and remember to get the branding strip off of my wonky polka dot background page and take a sip of tea because, you know, it was a tea type of day. So I go ahead and get this laid down. I want it pretty straight, and because those polka dots are really wonky, I was having a hard time seeing if it was straight. So I did pull out my T-square ruler and use that to get it lined up. And I was having trouble getting my T-square ruler lined up, and luckily I didn't push down on that paper, forgetting that there was glue on the back, because I'm a genius that way. Oy vey. So once I do that, I get my photos in place and I'm just going to layer them over each other. When I have two 4x6s, one vertical, one horizontal, I usually do one of two things. Excuse me. I pile them on top of each other like this, or I use a grid. But because I knew I didn't want a grid, I had a lot of pattern going on, the pile-on method was what was going to work for me. I then layered that journaling box behind. I had a little, not a little, I had a little bit more than a little bit of journaling to do, if that makes sense. A lot of times my journaling is just a sentence or two, just kind of a verbal reminder of what the story is, but in this case I had more to write, so I wanted to make sure I had that full 4x4 space in order to write it. From the ephemera pack that comes with the storyline page, I'm going to pull out the numbers 2019. That's when my nephew started college. I'm also going to pull out a bunch of the little phrases like, you know, way to go, stay curious. Now, just so you know, this ephemera, parts of them are vellum and parts of them are the die cut cardstocks. So I'm going to pull out that stay curious. I love that. That's actually one of my favorite phrases. It's also one of my favorite things in life, to be, that I think is important. I think it's so important to always try to be learning new things, always trying to, whether it's for school or for your own personal edification. I just love, like researching things and looking for new things and always trying to stay informed, because when you don't do that, I think you can get a little stagnant. So this layout about education and moving forward and a new way of looking at things at college, whether it's college, a trade school, the armed services, where you're learning new things. I always just think, that when you go from one place to another and you, well, I'll tell you, I was doing this challenge for, as part of a group I belong to, and one of the challenges was to do a layout about a bridge from one place to another, whether it be literal or figurative. And I was talking about, for this one, starting a new level of education, whether it be in college or whether it be, as I said, a trade school or the armed services or some sort of training situation where you're learning new things. It's a way to just, better yourself as a human being. All right. Soapbox over. Let's move back to the layout. I started adding a bunch of the die cuts, including the numbers. I added that stay curious over on the wonky polka dot, but you couldn't really read it, so I moved it over onto the photo, which is a more solid, and then there was a little rippage on that, so I'm just going to put a die cut over there instead. I also had the stickers from the storyline chapters, and I'm using the, right now, and the a couple of the arrows, because to me arrows mean moving, so moving forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another vertical line using the embellishments over on the left hand side. Now I wanted to use the rest of that yellow frame that I added over on the lower left hand side, and I managed to finally find a place where it would work, and I was super happy to bring that yellow in. I've got quite a bit of neutrals going on, so I wanted to bring in a couple pops of color. So you see, I did cut ahead while I was doing my journaling, talking about how it's his first day, how excited he was, even though he was playing it cool, and he was sweet enough to take some photos for me. One was a selfie, and then he asked a friend of his, he has a couple of friends who are going to the same college as him. He asked a friend of his to take a picture of him in his college sweatshirt in the, I believe that's the student center. So my very simple title is just going to be College Freshman. He was so excited. It was such a weird, ending of his freshman year with, being at home. He's a commuter student, so it wasn't as weird as for other kids, but it was still weird. In three of the places, they have both stickers and die cuts of a tone-on-tone rainbow. So shades of peach, shades of aqua with a metallic. Sadie says hello. And then along three of those areas, I'm also going to add a coral, a green, and an aqua enamel dot. Woohoo, forgot the word enamel dot. Yay me. All right, I am almost finished here. The last thing I am going to do is I am going to add some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine. I've been using these stickers a lot. I really like them. They're once again part of my quarantine shopping spree. But I wanted to bring some more gold in. There is some gold in some of the die cuts, but I wanted to bring a little bit more with the Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine, and that is going to finish off my layout. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Once again, if you can flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. Have a wonderful day and enjoy. Bye!